Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. I normally do the superbike, street bike type stuff on the channel, but wanted to do a little video on my 2024 KTM 500. This is the EXC-F 6 days edition that I've done a few mods to, and I'll kind of walk through those, but really just happy I finally got this bike out on the trail. I actually bought this bike back in, I want to say October of 2023, and just for the first time got it actually out in some dirt this past weekend. So I'll include a little bit of that riding footage at the end of the video, but first we'll just do a quick walk around of the bike. Like I said, this is a 2024 6 days edition. That's the 500 EXC-F, so this is the 50 state legal plated bike, which, as I'm sure if you know anything about these bikes from the factory, they're pretty choked up. So I did a few things to kind of free up the bike, make it run a bit better, and give it some more power too. So starting at the front, this is really all stock. I did take the Argentina graphics off the bike and did these SKDA graphics instead. I just wanted to save the nice 6 days edition plastics in case one, this gets dropped off road, or if I ever go to sell the bike or anything like that. I just wanted to keep the stock plastics in good condition. Up front, I went with the fatty golden tire. This is really my first experience using these tires, but they seem to work great. I wasn't pushing too hard this past weekend, but overall really happy with the tire. The 6 days edition comes with this axle puller stock, so that came on the bike. Over on the brake side though, I did add a P3 carbon disc guard, which looks kind of cool and obviously protects the front rotor. Headlight is stock, but I did do the Takamoto control switch here, which actually allows you to turn the headlight on and off. With the stock setup, the headlight is always on, so I added this just so I had the optionality to turn it on and off. The bike does have the Get Athena ECU, which really made a big difference in terms of performance when paired with the exhaust. I'll show you here in a second. So if you have one of these bikes, highly recommend this. It's a bit of an investment, but totally changes the way the bike rides. Controls, hand guards, these are all stock. 6 days comes with this, just 6 days edition handlebar. So all this stuff up front, I should say, is stock. Got a little mirror here just to make sure it's street legal. I got one I put on here too, but I took that off because I wasn't riding on the road this past weekend. I did add, I don't know if you can see it, these are kind of cool, just some speed bleeders. That's a nice touch to add if you have one of these bikes. I would recommend that just because it's a little hard sometimes to get the Torx wrench in there to adjust those, or not adjust them, but to bleed the forks. The 6 days does come with the stock KTM CNC orange triple clamp, so we got those on there. What else? Stock tank for now. I might upgrade that to a larger one at some point. When I did the ECU, I actually fully removed all the emissions related materials off the bike, so this is just a vent hose that goes straight down to the ground basically for overflow, capped off everything else. I did put in a different fuel filter. I know the stock ones are not the most reliable, so I added this nice filtered aluminum one here. Controls are all pretty stock, engine is stock. I did do some different foot pegs. These are the Fastway pegs, which I'm kind of on the fence about. I like the size and the platform, but the position's a little different, so I'll look at either seeing if I can adjust them or maybe trying a different foot peg. This actually is pretty cool though. This is the Heimdall, I suppose is how you say it, but this is a little, almost like a foot peg that attaches to your kickstand, so when you're off-road or even on-road here in the garage, a lot easier to get the kickstand down. It's kind of sometimes hard to get your boot in here, so this just gives you a nice platform to push that down. 6 days edition comes with the sprocket stock and the chain guard. That all was on the bike from the factory. Golden tire as well in the rear. This is the GT 333. Again, I don't know a ton about these tires generally. It's my first time using them, but overall they seem to work great. Inside the airbox here, I do have, pop this off, a nice twin air filter. It's got the aluminum cage, so that's a nice addition to have. Got to clean the bike up and clean the filter after the ride. It's a little dirty. And then kind of similar to the to the plastics, the 6 Days edition comes with a really nice like blue 6 Days edition seat. Didn't want to mess that up. And also it's not the super most comfortable seat, so I added the seat concept seat, which this is the low version. The bike is pretty tall, especially with these big tires on it, so, and I'm not that tall, so this is definitely kind of a nice thing to have. Did the Takamoto tail tidy, so integrated turn signals here in the back. This is the Enduro plate, I believe it's called, but nice and flexible in case you ever do crash. It's not going to rip the plate off. And then I did the Graves exhaust as well, just the slip-on, took the logo off, the sticker that comes on here. But between the Get ECU and then the slip-on, it really woke the bike up. I mean, it's kind of a night and day difference, runs a lot better, a lot cleaner, and the bike is actually quite fast. I probably would be fine with the 350, to be honest, especially with my skill level off-road. I'm much better on asphalt than I am on dirt, so you know, definitely wakes the bike up, and if you have one of these, you've probably already done it. If not, I'd recommend it. Just a different little brake extender here, just to give me a little more platform and bite. Did a P3 carbon heat shield with some black titanium screws, just to keep everything kind of nice and clean. And Sano did a bulletproof rear disc guard as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just a quick overview of the bike. I think I covered all of it. But super fun. I loved it. I got to get some more time on it, but after the first, I'd say 30 minutes, I really felt comfortable on it. Was starting to kind of get the flow a little bit. So yeah, great bike. Let me know if you have any questions on it. Happy to answer anything I can. And here's the video of some off-road action. Thanks, guys. Alrighty. Back at it? Yep. Yeah. All right, round 2. That's fun.
Nice.
The hills.